Hi, in this video, we'll continue to explore the portfolio return and variance depending on different weights of its component stocks. So from the previous two videos, we have always assumed that the weight for stock A and stock B cannot exceed 100% or 0%. But is it possible that we can further extend it to negative weights? It is with the help of short selling. So short selling basically means selling something that you don't own yet. So you must borrow it from someone else and then sell it right now and use that proceed to invest in something else. So in this case, we can short sell stock A or stock B and use that money to invest in more of the other asset here. Okay, in reality, it is usually done by the help of with the help of a broker, and it's a very risky policy here. So we can illustrate why is it very risky in this case. Okay, so from the previous two videos, we have stopped at 0 and 1, but then we can extend it to negative numbers or negative weights on this side, or on that side, negative weights for stock B. So that will be more than 100% weight for stock A on this side and more than 100% of weight of stock B. Okay, so what will this do to our return and variance? Okay, so let's take a look at this particular portfolio. It has a return of 29%, which is higher than any of those component stocks here. So it is possible with the help of short selling, you can achieve a higher return than any of those individual stocks would have provided you with. Okay, so you only have to short sell some of those stock A, or just short the stock A, and then use that proceeds to invest in more of stock B, because stock B here provides a higher return on average. So if you have more than 100% as your weight for stock B, then your return is going to further increase. But still remember, if you have a whole portfolio, then your portfolio weight overall should still add up to 1. Okay, they should still add up to 1. But then let's take a look at the variance here. So the variance here is going to be 16.9, almost 17%. So with the comparison here, if you only invest in stock B, the variance is going to be 9%. So this 17% is a lot higher than 9%. It's almost twice the number here. So why is it? So let's take a look at the calculation of the variance here. Since we're using the squared terms here, so even the weight for stock A is negative, it's going to be squared anyways, right? And then, not to mention the weight on stock B is now more than 100%. So it's going to give you a lot higher for the variance. So the number is going to be a lot bigger than a number without any short selling. Okay, so the same is true for this side as well. As you can see here, if we stopped at 0% here, we would have 100% stock A here with 15% of the return and 4% as the variance here. But if we continue to short sell stock B and buy more of the stock A, our return is going to further decrease, and then the variance is going to increase. So, well, obviously there's no reason to do that, right? Okay, so it seems like this way is a lot better if you can tolerate that variance. Okay, so let's put that all of this stuff on the graph again. So before this, we only had 21 points here, data points. Now we can extend it by adding more data points. Okay, let's just change the graph by a little bit. So remember how it looks like right now, which is the graph we had from the previous video with only 0 and 1 being kept as the weight. So let's select more data here. So let's edit, and for X series, or the horizontal axis, we can include even more data points, right? And then for the Y series, we have even more return here. Okay, so again, let's select those data and press OK. Right, now, as you can see, we have more data points, not just on the same curve, but we sort of extended that curve from both of its ends, right? So we're now being given more choices or more portfolios, but not all of them are, well, better in some senses, because these portfolios are still strictly dominated, and these corresponds to if you short sell stock B and buy more of stock A. So there is no reason to increase your risk profile but getting less return here, because stock A gives you less return, but short selling gives you higher risks. So there's no reason to do that, and they will be strictly dominated. And for this part, you can further extend them for higher return, but for a lot higher risks. Okay, so why do we do this? This is because we can achieve higher return as long as the risks can be tolerated. Okay, so in some exams, exam questions, you might come across a portfolio with a return or a required return that is higher than both of its component stocks. So do not be alarmed by this, because this simply means short selling must be available in this case. Okay, so unless specified by the question itself that short selling is not possible or not allowed, then you can always assume that short selling is available, and negative weights can be used for the calculations here. And be very careful about the variances, because you always have to use the square term here. So the variances will be a lot higher compared to the situation where you don't have short selling available. So again, with these numbers, you can play around by changing the numbers a little bit and see how this graph will look like. So basically, you will extend that compared to the situation where short selling is not allowed, and then you can have an overall understanding and how the portfolio will return, and variance will change depending on the weights. And it's just that we're adding more weights and we're extending it to the negative numbers here. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video.